Good morning, everyone. I'm Abhijat Kanade, and with me here is Arun Das. We are both product managers on the team that works hard to ensure that Microsoft Teams can be a big partner in the success of your small or medium business. Teams is already an irreplaceable collaboration product when it comes to enterprise companies today. But most of the companies around the world are small and medium businesses. In fact, there are 400 million small and medium businesses around the world. And Microsoft has a mission to empower every person and every organization to do more. So for us, it's vital that we meet the needs of SMBs to deliver on that mission. Teams is a product that brings all of your collaboration needs into a single integrated experience that can be trusted, that is reliable, and it's now even sprinkled with AI magic through Copilot. And we have apps on the desktop, on PCs, on Macs, in the browser, and even mobile devices, iOS and Android devices, so you can be connected seamlessly as you move from one device to another and from one place to another. Now, small businesses care mostly about growing their business, as they rightfully should. But as they get to an adequate size beyond a handful of employees, it is equally important for them to have effective running of the business. And Teams can be your primary hub to achieve both these goals: to grow your business through effective connection with your customers and partners, and for running your business through all the capabilities in the product and extensions through hundreds of apps that are available in Teams Store. Teams is highly effective when it comes to internal collaboration within your company, but it is equally effective when it comes to working with your external partners and customers. And I'll hand it to Arun to walk through those things.
Okay, can I get a quick show of hands of how many people use Teams here to meet with customers? JP, your hand doesn't count. Awesome, right? So many of you are already using Teams to meet with your customers. So when we talk to our SMBs about growing their business, they want to grow it aggressively, the first thing we hear about is the collaboration or the engagement with customers and business partners needs to be top-notch. Technology is the last thing they want to be talking about on those meetings, things not working. So when that happens, they also talk about how critical each of these interactions are. And small business team that we drive is all about making these interactions meaningful and productive and translate into new business opportunities. So with that, one of our key goals is to ensure that our customers can meet their customers irrespective of where each one is. They are on mobile, they are on desktop, they have Teams, they don't have Teams, they have a license, they don't have a license. We want to make sure that you can reach every customer and every business partner. So one of the common things when we talk to SMB customers comes up is that, hey, does my client need Teams? Do they need to be familiar with Teams? When I'm meeting with them, do they need to be prepped? Absolutely not. So let me show a quick demo of what the experience would look like for a person who is joining the Teams meeting for the first time, right? On the left, what you see is the Outlook client on which he has received an email. This is outlook.com, free. It could be anything, Gmail, Yahoo, if you still use it. And I'm going to go play the video. And the customer here clicked on the link, join the meeting now. It launched a browser window. And within few seconds, they landed on the meeting screen. Now, because this is a customer, they won't directly land in the meeting. You always are in control. You can accept them or deny them in the lobby. So what you see here is that within few seconds, your customer is in the meeting. They didn't have a Teams client or they didn't have any license, right? This used to take 50, 60 seconds in the past. And we had also heard from customer there were some challenges, right? Hey, am I able to join or not? We also know a lot of your customers run Mac. So we have gone and made a lot of improvements on experiences, especially around Safari and Firefox. So it doesn't matter what browser they are on, they will be able to join the meetings. But what you saw on the last screen was these people were joining anonymously. What that means is you don't know who they are. You just know their name. And of course, if they turn up the video, you will know who they are. But once the meeting ends, for security reasons, we remove them from the meeting chat and they lose access to the meeting. This is not conducive all the time. If you're talking to a business partner or a vendor, you might want them to have access to that chat, right? Or the files you've shared. A lot of times people end up copying the chat file, sending a link over the email, which might land in a junk mailbox. Before April, which was last month now, if you needed to have this interaction, the party on the other side needed to have a paid Teams license. That's no longer required. Now, all the other party needs is to sign up for Teams with a free account. So if they have a free account and they join the meeting, of course, you will let them in through the lobby, interact with them, and once the meeting ends, they will still have access to that meeting chat. So you no longer have to make a summary or share files with them over email. So if there's a follow-up question, they can reach out to you. So this is great. If you are working with a customer who can be a pretty big customer for you, so you can get the conversation going, you can follow up with them. So I just wanted to show quickly the experience. So this is a person with a free Teams client. They don't have a license. They click on the join button, and that's it. They are in the meeting. Now, assume the meeting ends. They still have access to the chat, so you can continue the conversation. You can follow up with them. Hey, we talked about this. What your thoughts are? And of course, as teams, security and privacy is the biggest thing on our mind. So you as an admin always control that. You can go disable this experience. But for small businesses, one of the key things we do is we try to optimize our configurations to be simpler and less admin overhead. So this is on by default. Now, you might say, hey, every conversation may not start with a meeting. What I want to invite this user and start a chat, right? It is as simple as going to the chat screen. I'm sure everybody uses chat and loves chat. Going and putting the email address. We will figure out for you whether this user is on AAD, whether this user is a paid user, whether this user is a free user, or whether this user is not a Teams user at all. Assume this user is not a Teams user at all. I would show how easy it is for you to bring them onto Teams and onto your ecosystem. So this is me inviting chat with anyone00@outlook.com. So the moment I send a message, this sends an invite to that person. This could be any email address, Outlook, Gmail, Yahoo. And the moment they click on it, they go through a sign-up process. It's pretty simple. You just punch in your name, date of birth, like age, and you land in the chat. And what you're seeing here is when they sign up, we land you on that chat. That person directly lands on that chat. So you can get the conversation going. It's not that they will have to find you or you need to find them. This is pretty powerful. Now, every meeting may not be a business meeting. Sometimes doctors may just want to meet and see their patient, right? So what virtual appointment does, it gives you what the name says, an appointment-like experience. So let me first run the video and show this experience to you. So generally, if you want to meet and your customer is using a mobile client, irrespective of whichever product they use, they have to download the mobile client. This can be a pretty huge friction, right? If you're just meeting this customer the first time, they may not want to download the Teams client on mobile to meet with you. So what virtual appointment allows you to do is send them a more tailored invite. As you see, this doesn't look like a regular Teams meeting invite, which says, click here to join and bunch of mobile numbers. They get a nicer looking appointment, an invite, and when they click on it, they are directly landed on a nicer lobby. No requirement to download the app. So here I am, I get this appointment, I just key my name, and I had to not download the client. I directly land in the meeting experience. And once the meeting ends, the discussion is ended. If you're a premium customer, you can also send an SMS. This is very popular among our customers. One of the big reasons why a lot of customers use Teams Premium, you can send a reminder. Because often, as a small business, your time is very critical. You set up a meeting, and if your customer doesn't show up just because they didn't look at their Outlook or their calendar, that's pretty rough. So this allows you to send SMS, And if you are an organization who's interested in what is the usage and how many people are sending SMS, we have very well done reports in the Teams Admin Center. So you can keep a tab on the spend. Now, a lot of times, when you're meeting with your customers or business partners, they may not be on Outlook, right? Or you're on a phone call and you want to just get on a meeting. So you want to share a meeting URL. What you see on the left top was our meeting URLs before, right? Like people would be scared to click on that. It's a long URL, wraps around multiple times on mobile, and people are not sure what they're clicking onto, right? And we know that's not a great experience, so we have been working very hard on this feature, literally called shorter meeting URL. So what this allows you to do is whenever you create a meeting, right-click, copy the link, and our links would look something like this. This should be landing very soon on your clients, so you can literally copy and send it, right? And that shows like it's a teams.microsoft.com meeting, you can click on it. And in our research, we have seen people have higher degree of confidence and less hesitation to click on this link. On the right side, this was interesting. This is like, you have so many choices, right? You have an ability to click here to join a meeting. You have 5 phone numbers that you can dial. You have a phone conference ID. Like customers who are not familiar with Teams used to get overwhelmed, right? Where do I click? So what we have done is we have simplified our meeting invite. This is something you should be seeing in your client now, where we call out, join the meeting now by clicking it. Yes, you might want to join with phone. So there are other options, but we try. And this has worked pretty well in our studies where customers go directly to click the join the meeting now. So as you see, we have been making this thoughtful increments on how we can reduce the friction and make the joining or coming into a meeting pretty easy. External, now when you are scheduling a meeting with an external customer, it's a pain, right? You don't know their availability. A lot of customers tell us, we get on phone calls, hey, are you available Thursday 4 p.m., Monday morning 6 a.m., 8 a.m.? So, and that takes a lot of time and energy and a lot of mental bandwidth. So that is where bookings comes into picture. We have seen a lot of small and medium businesses use bookings in the team setting. So I'd also show you a quick demo. So basically, this what it allows you to do for your team. Say, person Abhijat is available from 8 to 4. Me, Arun is available on Tuesday, 4 to 6 p.m. And your customers can go to your website and click on the link that this app produces and block time. But a lot of small and medium businesses interact one-on-one too, where I want to share my time and calendar. So that's why we have redesigned the app and brought the personal bookings that you see on the top, front and center. So it is literally copying that link here and sharing it with the people. So whoever has this link can see the calendar that you have exposed to block time with you. So no more phone calls, no more going back and forth, and you can always go tweak your availability. So here, I don't like office hours, so I'm going to go create a new meeting template, say customer support. I can decide to make it public or private. If it's public, anybody can see it on the page that I share, but if it's private, you get to share it with people. So the template has been created. Now this is the email link. I can email it, I can share it. We also have an option with one click, you can embed it in email. So whenever you are talking to people, there will always be this link at the bottom which says book with me. So here the customer is booking an appointment. So Adele can see this meeting on her calendar, like who booked it. And once the meeting starts, it's a regular meeting. So you were not involved in the workflow. So this allows you to reach more customers and more customers to reach you. Also on our conversations, what we see is SMBs want to build a brand, right? And building a brand means showcasing your brand in each and every interaction. And meetings are the most powerful way, right? Somebody is going to join your meeting, they're waiting on the lobby, they see your company brand. So meeting themes allows you as a company to decide what your joining experience would look like. So you see a custom image in the background, you can tweak the button colors, you can put a company logo. So whenever customers are coming in, the first thing they see is your company brand, right? So, and admins have full control. This feature is available as part of Teams Premium, and admins can decide who gets Teams Premium and who gets to have this experience. So a lot of companies also use it in the internal settings to build culture, build brand, and also to showcase or let employees know, hey, this is the meeting that you are attending in your company. The other aspect is that was about people joining your meeting, right? But if you are participating in meetings, you want to have your company brand showcased there. So what you see on the top left side is a org-defined background. So you can decide whenever your employees join a meeting, their background shows up as the company-approved logo, right? So people kind of see your brand, and your brand is getting reinforced with every interaction. This is, again, part of Teams Premium. So if your customer have Teams Premium, they have this option to select a company background. And as an admin, you can also decide that they can't change it. It's totally flexible. So that was all about meeting your customers and meetings, right? But often businesses, and most of the time businesses go much deeper than the meeting, right? You have struck a deal, you want to continue this conversation. So in the past, a lot of times this would fall back to email, right? And all the goodness of that async collaboration of where you send a message and you get a reply goes away. So with that in mind, we designed shared channels. How many people have here heard or used shared channels in the organization? Okay, few. So shared channel is nothing but a new channel type that we introduced a couple of years ago. The idea here was that you can create a channel without any limitation. The problem earlier was that when you created a team, you had to every time add people to the team for them have to access to any channel in that team. So for example, you run a product engineering company and you wanted consultation from a lawyer, you would have had to add them to the teams and they would have had access to all the channels, which meant they had channel clutter, they had access to information they should not be having. So that is where shared channels came into picture. But where it really shines is when you're trying to bring an external customer, right, who uses Teams. Shared channels allows you to add people to that specific channel. So if you want to have a discussion on a project, you can have a project team, but with shared channel, you could create a channel which says customer interactions and just add them, irrespective of they are in your company or not. So I'll show a demo of where this shines and how you can use it. So this is Alex and Megan in two different companies. Alex is in Contoso and Megan is in Fabricam. And what you see is the channel showing up for them in their channel list. Earlier in the past, what would have happened is you would have invited Megan as a guest into your tenant. She would have seen on the top where you see Contoso or Fabricam, and she would have always have to tenant switch and go and access that channel. What this does is, even if this channel is from another organization, you see this as part of your regular channels. We, of course, mark it as external so that you know this channel is coming from another organization. And then there's no limit to collaboration. You can share files. You don't have to think about permissions. This is literally Megan and Alex co-editing files at the same time across two companies, right? They can go have meetings right in the channel if you want to have a quick discussion. So what you see is a lot of friction is reduced and the collaboration is as good as you working as part of the same company. So this is they having a meeting in the channel. So we can talk a lot more. I would be here if you want to see how you can leverage this. But what this means is that both the companies are open to having this kind of collaboration. Sometimes that is not the equation, right? The company that you're working with as a small business might want you to have an account in their company so that they can completely govern and control what your experience is, right? They want all the files to stay in their company. So for that, we brought this support recently on T2.1, which is our new client, which is called multiple accounts and orgs. So you can add as many work accounts to the same Teams client. So what you see here is I, as an individual, can go add accounts from multiple companies. Say I work with Contoso, I work with Fabricam. So if you're a consultant, this is very powerful. And what ends up happening is that you don't have to switch tenants, right? You don't have to switch companies. Whenever somebody pings you from another company, a chat pop-up comes up and you click. Earlier, we would have flipped companies and said, now you are in Fabricam. And if you want to reach somebody in your company, you would have to go and flip back. But now, you don't have to do any of that. The pop-up comes up, you click, it opens a new window, you can have your conversation, and done. So you always stay in your company's context. If somebody reaches out to you from another company, then you just interact in that window and you're done. So it's pretty less disruptive if you're working with multiple companies. We can pause for a few minutes and take questions, but then I'll hand it over to Abhijat to run through the next section.
I've run into the problem that if a person has apps for business, that they don't have the full license, and they try to join, if they just try to go to a bookings page, that they get an error. And the only way around it that I've seen so far is to open up their browser in a new incognito window and paste the link in that browser. Yeah. Is there any way that's going to be around that? Because it's a lot of people that are using, again, another like Gmail or something as their primary email, using apps for business, and when it gets to that, because I guess it uses Outlook as a backend, it fails.
Yeah, I think what might be happening is they're getting signed in with the apps for business account, and then they don't have access to the bookings app.
No, right, because they don't have Outlook.
Yeah.
I get it. But is there anything that's going to be done about that in the future by any chance?
Let's talk offline. They should not have to have an Outlook account to book an appointment. We can have a sidebar and talk about this specific issue. Yeah, awesome. Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned Teams Premium comes with SMS text reminders.
Yeah.
Some other SMS text abilities as well, or just reminders?
So as far as I know, SMS reminders, it's primarily SMS reminders with bookings and meetings. Yeah. So you get, we talked about virtual appointments, it's a meeting template. So with meeting templates, which is a premium feature, you can go add them to any other meeting type also. But SMS reminders is primarily the scenario. I think the scenario that you're talking about is if you want to send a text to a customer which is not tied to a meeting, right? That's Teams Phone. I think Abhijat will talk about it in a bit. Yes, ma'am.
We're going into when people come in and find that they'll have a team account. And you have, so there is they then share their screen as well.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, they can. So the only thing they can't do is start a recording because it's your company resource. But yes, over to you, Abhijat.
Awesome. So pretty exciting set of features. Do you agree? Okay. So, as I said earlier, in addition to making it easy for you to connect with your customers and partners, which was the focus of the first half of our session today, Teams can also help you run your business effectively. Now, obviously, all the meeting stuff that you saw, meetings also happens to be one of the primary use cases for collaboration within the company. But beyond meetings, we also see a lot of usage of chats. Now, chats are awesome for ad hoc one-on-one conversations, for group conversations. It's also easy to quickly get on an audio or video call from your chat. But sometimes you have a need to have more organized collaboration for specific projects, for specific team members, so you can also create teams and channels to have that kind of organized collab. And you can also take this to the next level through, as I said earlier, the hundreds of apps available in the Teams store. But most importantly, what you get by using Teams is company ownership of data, and this is a very important point. As a small business, your employees come and go, and you don't have to worry about loss of data as they go, right? And that is one of the biggest problems we see when companies start using consumer products. Even ones from Microsoft, like OneDrive or Google Drive, to share files. So most important thing, why you should go and get the paid Teams product. Now, in addition to meetings, chats, channels, we see a big adoption of our modern telephony suite within Teams in the small and medium business sector. And the reason is obviously we have a ton of modern capabilities. I'm going to touch upon a few here. But also, it's extremely cost-effective for small businesses. So the first thing is it's really easy to get the benefits of all these features. You can transfer a call from one device to another as you're on the go. You can add more people to a conversation. You can also hand off a call to somebody else if you don't know how to address a query from a customer. And then you get the usual features you expect today, such as call forwarding, the ability to simultaneously ring all of your devices, and even automatically reject new incoming calls while you're on a call. Second, there's a lot of intelligence built into the product. You get real-time summarization and insights from even audio calls if you have the Copilot license. You can review your recordings after the fact to take down notes if you did not have a Copilot, which I think you should get it, so you don't have to do that. Copilot will do it for you. And then you can also route customer calls through advanced telephony capabilities such as auto attendance and call queues. Based on the kind of question the customer has, the phone will get routed to the right employee. The next available employee can be there to take the query if you're using call queues. And finally, obviously, like with the rest of the suite, you get a very secure and reliable experience. But there's one interesting functionality that was recently launched. It's shared calling. How many of you know about this? OK, so shared calling allows you to have one phone number that is shared among your employees. And it's, again, very cost-effective. You don't have to pay for a phone line for everybody in the company. But then you also get benefits such as using one calling plan where all the minutes get pooled. So very, very cost-effective way. And of course, you can set up an auto attendant so that the calls get routed to the right person in the company. Now, the shared calling plan is from Microsoft, where you get minutes from the company, but you don't have to necessarily get a calling plan from Microsoft. You can also plug in your existing PSTN provider into the system and make use of all these advanced telephony capabilities as well. Now, because we saw such a big adoption of phone in the SME segment, we have launched a bundle of our standalone Teams product along with phone. And it's available in US, UK, and Canada right now, and has up to a 33% discount if you were to get these licenses by July 1st. So there's an ak.ms link here. Write it down, get the bundle, nothing cheaper and better than this out there in the market. Right. Now, along with Teams Phone, we also have a lot of great Teams-certified devices which have gone through rigorous testing and provided the best experience for collaboration, audio and video in the product. And we recently launched a way for users to discover and purchase these devices directly in the Teams app. So if you go to the store, you'll see this Devices tab, and you can buy all kinds of devices, headsets, Teams Rooms devices, and so on. And you also get a 90-day expert installation and support for Teams Rooms devices if you went down this route. Yeah.
We have a lot of old school users who want to have the best kind of good things, but they are insistent.
Yep.
Where can we find a good physical desktop? We have a hard time finding one that has a projection that can use.
Yes. So the question was, a lot of customers who are using Teams now come from an era when they used to have desk phones, and they're not as comfortable using an app on your PC or your mobile device. So can we get physical phone devices? This is exactly what this is. You go to this Teams app, click on the App Store, you'll see devices, and these are all certified by Microsoft. So they've been tested by the company, and they will give you the best experience, yes, along with webcams and the typical. Thank you for asking that question. And of course, you're already aware of all the productivity gains and time savings you get through Copilot. We are in third day of a conference that started off with a Copilot keynote, so I won't go through all the details. But the most important thing we see is intelligent meeting recap, the ability to join a meeting in the middle, catch up, even after the fact. It's so easy now to find out what were the key things that got discussed and catch up. You can use Copilot during a meeting, even after a meeting. And as I mentioned earlier, even with audio calls, if you have Teams phone licenses, you get Copilot support, summarization, and asking questions even for that. The most important thing to note, you do require a Copilot for Microsoft 365 add-on to tap into all this great functionality. Yeah. Yes?
Wonder this entire time. I have very conventional users, right? Reporting meetings, will be completely new to them, they're going to be very uncomfortable with it. Do you have to, actually pick someone to report it? Is it automatically record? What kind of permissions do you have to have that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so I'm not aware. I'm sure we have policies that allow you to set up automatic recording, to allow automatic transcription and so on, so that the end user doesn't have to take any explicit action to make Copilot available for them. But we've also seen cases where admins want to turn off a certain, few capabilities. So both the things do exist. All right. By the way, one more thing. We have seen use cases where people are okay with recording and transcription happening in the background. We've also seen cases where they don't want that happening, in which case Copilot can be used during the meeting, but as soon as it's over, then you cannot use it. So it all depends on your use cases. Now, we want to ensure that all small and medium businesses have a first-class Teams experience. So it doesn't matter whether you get your email and calendar from Microsoft or from your domain provider, which is a very common case for small businesses who are starting off with a website, or even Google Workspace, right? And there are two things that we have recently launched. The first one is recent, where you can connect your domain to your Teams deployment. And what that allows your users to do is sign into the product using their existing email address, rather than remembering a new identity created on the Microsoft stack. The other benefit you get if you connect your email is when you set up Teams meetings, you get all the replies, accepts, rejects in your mailbox by going through this first wizard I have here, which is the bring your domain and email wizard. And finally, if for users who are on Google Workspace, either because they want to be there or they are not yet ready to migrate to Microsoft for a better experience, we have this Teams meeting add-on in the Google Store that allows you to set up Teams meetings from within your current calendar, which is Google Calendar. And this add-on has been available for several months, but we continue to make it better through the feedback we receive from our customers. And we really do want to make it easy for you to tap into Teams irrespective of how you set up your meetings, whether you're setting it up from Teams, from Outlook, from Google Calendar, everywhere. And finally, we know that setting up M365 and Teams can be sometimes a daunting task for small business admins, especially those who have accidentally become admins because they happen to purchase the product for the company. So to make their lives easy, we have brought the admin functionality directly into the Teams app. If you are a small business admin, and I'll just run a quick video here. If you're a small business admin in a tenant with less than 25 users, we automatically install the app for you, and it's available. If you are a small business admin in a bigger tenant, we won't pre-install it for you, but you can go to the store to install it, to discover the admin app and install it. So this shows you the store experience where you can find the admin app and install it if you have more than 25 users in your organization. Now, we just rolled out a new experience for the app a few days ago to make it even easier for you to set up your core tasks. So the connect your domain and email functionality that I just talked about, it's the first thing that you see for completing your setup. And the second one is sometimes you buy Teams, but you haven't set it up for all your users, obviously. So this allows you to add your users and give them the appropriate license to get started. You also get other functionality in the users tab. This is where you can add a user, you can assign a license, you can reset password, which is also very common admin functionality. And this kind of shows you this user who will now be assigned a Teams Essentials license. So very simple experience compared to lots of knobs and tweaks in Mac and in Teams Admin Center. Now, along with user management, you can also manage your subscription. You can purchase new licenses for other products. You can assign them and manage other billing tasks. And then finally, the most important thing is how can you set up teams more effectively based on your organization needs. So here's an example where you can decide who gets to enter a meeting without the meeting organizer actually allowing you to. So as an example, if you want to let people from within your org directly into a meeting, you can set that up here. But for external meetings, you can say that the organizer has to explicitly bring them in. And finally, this is also important, support. Sometimes you just don't know what to do. So you get this support functionality here. You can ask a question such as, how do I connect the domain? And you will get a bunch of self-help articles here to help you. But if you're still stuck somewhere, you can also contact support, and it will create a ticket for you, and a customer agent will get back to you to help you get unblocked. So we believe this is going to simplify your lives quite a bit. Now, how can Teams be bought by businesses? We have two options. You can get one of the M365 SKUs that were created specifically for small and medium businesses. We have Business Basic, Business Standard, Business Premium in the order of more functionality and also price. But then if you don't need the entire suite, as I said earlier, we also have the standalone Teams Essentials SKU. And we typically see this SKU being purchased by customers who fall in three buckets. One is, as I said earlier, customers who do not need email from Microsoft yet. Second, customers who are on-prem or third-party hosted email from Microsoft, but they are not ready to move their email to the cloud yet. So you can still have this hybrid functionality where email is there, but then you get Teams in the cloud. And finally, customers like the scenario you were talking about earlier, where they have either an Exchange-only license or M365 apps for business license, and they want to start using Teams for more effective collaboration. So lots of options for you to consider. And one common feedback we hear from small businesses is, okay, how do I get started? It's hard for me to know what all the product provides. So I'm going to pause on this for a few seconds. Please take this picture. The first link introduces you to the top features available for small businesses and also all these different SKUs and the pricing and what you get for each one of them. The second URL takes you to adoption tips, which we've specifically created for SMBs. And finally, if you have a specific question or need more support, you can also go to that third link. With that, we do want to continue this conversation. So here are two options in which you can stay connected with the community. The first one on the left is a new tech community space we created specifically for Teams SMB. And this is how you can discover new updates. You can join the conversation with other SMBs and the product team. So yeah, scan the QR code, come join the conversation. On the right is a deeper engagement option you have with the product team, where you can review either features that have just launched, or if you sign an NDA, we can invite you to our private preview program, so you can give us feedback as the features are getting developed. So both these options, we would love to. The more we talk to customers, the better our products become for you. So Teams is here for you. We are here for making the product better for small and medium businesses. Yeah, I'll keep it on this, and I'll take questions. This was it. Thank you. Yes.
I have a question. I bet everyone wants to know. When are we going to stop being asked if we want to join new teams?
Sorry, come again?
Every time I go in, do I want to join new? Sure, why? Months and months and months. When is that going to stop?
So I think the policy as an administrator, you can say that everybody on your org should be on new teams. So we can definitely help you with that. So it would stop pestering you. We would love you to be on new teams, and we wouldn't want you to be prompted every time. We're happy to work with you. Yeah, some organizations had specific needs, so we wanted to give them more time. But if you don't want that prompt, absolutely. Yeah.
Switch between new teams and classic?
So I think now you don't get that switch. You were used to get on the 3 dots, you could go and say new teams. You don't, if your administrator decides that organization should by default have new teams, then that toggle disappears.
No, I'm saying that when is Microsoft going to basically get rid of classic teams?
I think we published a blog which has the latest information. I can share the URL which has the most up-to-date information. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the features that you saw today, like the multi-tenant, multi-org thing, is available in new teams. So
Yeah.
we are accelerating the move so that we can continue to bring those new features to you all.
Do you know if they're going to be doing that with Outlook as well? The gentleman just said July 1st is for Teams. Switch over. Are they going to, do you know if they'll be doing that, or when they'll be doing that with Outlook?
So Outlook, we have a new client, which is right now in an opt-in stage. The way these programs work is that we are looking for customer feedback, right? So organizations can go decide and say, hey, we want to be on new Outlook today, but right now it's an option with the organizations. The administrators can decide for their companies. But we basically work through the feedback, make sure your each and every scenario is supported whenever the new client is rolled out. So it's an option right now, yeah. It's pretty cool, pretty fast if you want to try.
Yeah, no, I am using it. I just don't like it doesn't support PSTs.
Yeah, I know.
It's a huge issue.
Yeah, that's why it's an option right now. It's optional. Yes, I miss that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, my question about SMS text already. So I have a nonprofit client that uses Teams phones, and I work with the population that doesn't necessarily even have smartphones. So doing, inviting their customers to Teams to chat that way doesn't work. And we've only really found there's third-party products that we buy that would allow integrating SMS text messaging into Teams phones. That's something that's being worked on.
Yeah. So the question is, some customers who use Teams Phone today also want texting support, SMS support, and there are third-party tools that you can use today, but when is Microsoft going to launch that feature? So I know that the product team has received this feedback from customers, but whether we're working on it, when it's going to launch, I will have to connect you with the Teams Phone team. But I know that we're hearing that from customers, so hopefully it's in our roadmap.
Yeah, I actually had a follow-up question. If the organization that you work with is a charity, then we have special programs in Microsoft that you can leverage where you get free licenses. There are terms and conditions. So, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is there one thing that you want to change about Teams? Like if you had a magic wand, we are here. Depending on the ask, we might be able to make it happen. Is there anything that you would like to change or Teams could do better for you? SMS?
SMS,
Okay,
okay.
we are on it.
The premium features in standard,
Oh, just curious, which feature would you like to be free?
the branding, that sort of stuff.
Interesting.
That's important to non-profits as well.
Yeah.
Okay. We have one more question.
Call routing, skills-based routing, false movement.
And this is with the call queues? Yes, sir.
With both onboarding experience, more people interacting in teams, people creating teams within teams, channels, etc. Right? Onboarding experience is only as good, or the experience of the team is only as good as the person's knowledge, getting that great that structure with the thought of what's happening to better onboard owners within teams and channels.
Got it. So if I got your question right, when it comes to using Teams and channels, a lot depends on how much you know about Teams and channels, to set them right, and is something that product can do to simplify?
Typically, we're all busy working in business, in our business, whatever that is. And it's really hard to get someone to set up and work on the business.
Agreed. Yeah.
Because you're so busy executing.
Yeah.
And teams forces you, if you're going to structure it effectively, to get everyone to work on the business the way you're not used to.
Agreed. Yeah.
The way you've never thought of work before.
Yeah.
And the product, whether it's on the enterprise side or SMB side, it's a gap where unless someone like me is going around and pulling people out of this is how I do work and this is how I should do work. Adoption is super problematic, especially over time, right?
Agreed.
As we're seeing down through generations of workforce, what may have been good doesn't work good, right? So that onboarding experience of owners is in critical need of support throughout the product.
I hear you. I absolutely hear you. And there is some work that has happened in the past, definitely not where it should be. So there's one option. We have team templates.
I think that gets you partway there.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think we've all learned, especially at Microsoft, which is a little bit personal, right? Personal to the team, you know what your teams are like. And if you need to structure a team based on how an individual group is doing something, or every project is different, meaning every channel structure is different, the template of the project doesn't work, right?
Agreed.
So how do you say interview somebody with your onboarding and get them and provide the channels? Maybe that's one methodology to achieve it. But how do we handle that experience through the creation and ownership growth that life cycle to more adequately ensure the good adoption of teams? Because if that's a failure point, right, the rest of the user experience is poor, and everything was over the chats, which gets back to the issue of as people life cycle through the org, the information or if you put a retention policy on chats on.
Agreed. No, that's a very good point. Yeah. We can talk more. Like, we'd love to pick up it.
Sounds like they need a good MSP, right? I mean, seriously, a lot of companies that I see, small business, they don't want to go outside and hire, they want to try and do it themselves to save money. And sometimes that's what messes up the situation. I'm only saying that because I am an MSP and I see it out there.
I'm going to ask one last question. Just like you told us, what is the one thing you would like us to change? What is the one thing you like most in the product? You'd like to go back happy as well about we're doing something right.
I like that they're building, it looks like between Teams and Outlook, you guys are building everything into those two products. So that's pretty interesting that everything's going to be in like one or two areas and you don't have to switch to like 5 or 10 different applications.
Got it. So integrated experience
in
Teams and Outlook.
I think certainly the easier to join will be huge for people. So I know for our clients, where they're working with their clients, they become fearful of, oh, it's too hard to do it, I'll just come in person. When it's easier for everybody to do it online, it takes away another barrier. That's great.
Agreed. Absolutely. Joining a meeting should be easy.
And thank you for engaging so much with us as well. Again, please continue the conversation. We will stick around for a few minutes if you have more questions. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of the day.
Yeah.